We face, by the time we took over, let me remind you, some of the big members here are speaking like Kenya Kwanza has been in government for 100 years, like Ganu. We have been in government for 1 year. President Ruto took office in September last year. And you've all addressed the debt question very effectively. That we were faced with a heavy debt burden. And I saw David D's tweet saying that it is a miracle that we have not defaulted. Where does that default take us to? And the president said we will not take domestic borrowing to pay salaries, so that we continue, because the rate lately we are paying 15% plus for domestic borrowing. So where does that debt question fit into this whole economic ecosystem? Because at one point we want to be an aerated country in terms of debt repayment. We are inviting FDIs. If you see the president's blitz across the globe, it's about foreign direct investment from Saudi Arabia, from Indonesia, from the United States, on various sectors of the economy. So if today the country has poor ratings, and therefore, what does that leave us in terms of our debt patterns? Do we just abandon them and say now we reduce taxes, remove the fuel development levy, which was supposed to backstop the SGR, we remove this, we remove that? Simply the kind of what Ichungwa called the knee-jerk reactions to a crisis. So we've bitten the bullet. We don't know whether we've bitten the right bullet.
Yes, Senator.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Mine is to the control of budgets. As ways of mitigating on the cost of living, you have made a proposal that we should increase allocations to existing programs like cash transfer schemes. Maybe from where you are sitting, I think the current allocation is 2,000, and I agree with you that that's really minimum. Do you have any figure you can throw to us on what increase you are looking at, from 2,000 to what? Related to that is, there are also a number of Kenyans who are on the lower cadre of earning. You had somebody mention that the minimum salary is at 15,000, and maybe Kenyans earning 15,000, 50,000 are the ones who are hardest hit by the rising cost of living. Can you maybe give us a proposal on what should be the ideal minimum wage for Kenyans that can mitigate the current rise in cost of living? Number two, I think you've really been candid. You have opened up on the cash situation for the country, and you have mentioned, and I believe rightly so, that reduction of our deficit financing is a solution to will be a solution to our current debt crisis. And from the figures you have given, it's clear that as a country we are really facing a cash crunch. So we must tighten our belts. We must put some measures in place, maybe like what Lyndon Johnson did in the US in 1965, where there was direct cuts on particular ministries. I think the hardest hit in the US government then was the defense ministry. Now, what in your view should be our top 3 priorities on government cuts on expenditure in government? From where you're sitting, if you had to propose 3 priorities in cuts on government expenditure. Finally, from your presentation, what I've gotten is that, and I think that's the law, the PFM Act requires that budgets be contained within the expenditure ceilings of the approved mid-term expenditure framework. I think that's the legal position, and I fully agree with you. But it seems the prevailing situation is that the current budgets do not comply. The question I'm asking now, just as a lawyer, are these current budgets then has passed illegal, going by what you have presented to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe take one also, and I don't know whether it's to anyone.
Sorry, I forgot one thing.
Yes.
With your permission. Now, you mentioned something on hiring spree by counties, yeah? And you mentioned that some are actually spending 47% of their allocations on P&E, personal emoluments. Now, you have left out the situation from national government. You just gave us a position of what is prevailing in counties, but you have not given us the situation on national government. And this has a spiral effect on counties. The Senate last week, we had a situation where some governors have made a petition that because national government is taking in many advisors, because the national government has made proposals for budgetary allocation for spouses of certain kind of office holders within the government, the governors also want to get the same allocation for their spouses. So there is that, there is that spiral effect downwards, They say they have seen in the budget spouses are being allocated 500 million. They also want to be allocated. So can you also give us a true picture, the situation as it is on the national government in terms of the recruitments, advisors for the big office holders and the likes? Thank you.
Catherine had something.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Margaret, for your presentation. I think it's been an eye-opener. And to this team, I think we have listened to the cream.